Okay. A donkey punch is a sort of an apocryphal sexual act. Did you know what it meant before you signed up for the film?
No. I'd heard of it, but I never knew what it was. I never questioned it, to be honest.
Yeah. And when you found out?
Shocked, quite shocked. Just to hear that this was even in the script and let alone the title, you kind of go, get that script away from me. That's not touchable. But something about this was really like original and fresh, and just made me wonder whose hands it was in and who was actually going ahead and making this film. And then Des Hamilton popped up, and he's just a great casting director. Ollie Blackburn, who's an extremely interesting director, and David Bloom, who's a great comedy mixed dark writer. So it's a nice combo.
It's quite scary when you actually knew what the donkey punch was, to think that, and when you read it and you got to sort of pretty much the beginning, middle of the film, and you sort of realised, all right, now that's happened, well, what's going to happen from here? And you was kind of like, this is a thriller, so you kind of know that it's only going to get worse. But the ways in which it did, it had to kind of top itself each time, and that was quite a scary thing to continue reading it.
Yeah, like the domino effect in the film, you kind of think, oh, this is the worst that can happen, and it just gets much worse and more twisted, and it's more and more twisted.
You find out what a donkey punch is, it uncovers a whole new world, doesn't it, of things that are, because it's really out there. People talk about these kind of things, and I think as a woman, I personally had no idea that world existed and what men talk about and how much people joke about things, and sort of if that this ever did happen, then here it is.
Just shows you how easily something can go wrong. They're so sort of they're having a fantasy and it's sort of an amazing, it's for all young boys or men out there that can look back to that age and go, wow, that would have been amazing, that would have been really cool, and you remember it for the rest of your life. And now, that one act kind of changed all their fate, and that's really interesting, the psychological one-fold.
Yeah. I mean, as men, we do talk about that kind of thing on a daily basis. On a daily basis, yeah.
Every 6 seconds.
With our dads, that kind of thing.
Like that.
Yeah.
But do you joke about it with things like that? Positions. Oh, she did this. I've heard men on the tube talking. Oh yeah, and she did this and she did that, and I've thought, no, she didn't. No, she bloody didn't. Not unless she paid her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She did not. So, just like to point that out.
Yeah.
Me never, no, I'm a perfect gent. On top of the sex, there's quite a lot of violence as well. Out of the three of you, who is the most violent?
Do you remember that day when Nicola punched both of us, when we were living together?
Yeah, and
For
headbutt.
No, that's what I was thinking. What part in the film was that?
I don't know. I don't think none of us are that violent.
Oh.
No, I'm not a violent person. Violence really upsets me.
What, in real life? Or
In real life, yeah.
They're put in a situation, aren't they?
I
Of
reckon I could go
survival,
around.
you know?
I'm not violent.
No, I'm not violent at all. Violence really upsets me, actually.
The boys have this stupid conversation as well, like if the girls were to have a fight to go to the makeup chair, which one would win? And we're
Who
like,
said that?
These lot in Edinburgh Film
I reckon
Festival.
Nicola would give a good fight.
Who would
I reckon she plays the innocent card.
Yeah, very well.
So I reckon she can proper have it.
No, I reckon you can. No, not me.
Tough northerner, you see. Okay, do you all get along, really, or do you secretly hate each other?
No, I secretly.
We're paid a lot of money to be in this room right now. Afterwards, we're all put in
We've
separate
actually
cages.
got our lawyers outside the room.
Yeah, so that we can't attack each other in between interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, this was possibly the worst job ever.
Yeah.
That we even had to meet each other.
Hair pulling, eye scratching, a lot of crying. Crazy.
Realistically, we go. I knew Jamie about 4 years.
No, yeah.
And Shan, just since we met her, we all got on really, really well.
Yeah, me and Nicola have known each other for about 4 years on a job, so no bitchiness there. Complete love for this girl. Actually,
She calls me a sister, and Shan,
she is my sister.
She calls me a sister, and Shan, the minute I met her, Ollie was like, "Oh, do you put a few Leeds people in a room together?"
Our mums around the corner from each other, and we just got on like a house on fire when we met. It was
amazing.
Yeah,
really good.
Really
they cast really well because we all just went.
And when we get back together, it's always such a good laugh, isn't it? I think this whole thing was such an experience for us that when we all get back together and talk about it again, we've all stayed friends since, which is a lovely thing to actually really come from a job, all of us, the whole cast and some of the crew, it's everyone involved in the film is really like-minded, exciting people.
My last question, footballers, when they're in a team, Because you're like a team, you're a cast.
Yeah.
They give each other like really, really bad nicknames, really unimaginative nicknames. Do you guys give each other nicknames at all? Like Winston-y?
Jamie's Fairy. She's been Fairy since I've known her.
Fairy.
She texts me always saying, "Hi, Fairy," so
Yeah.
Jamie's Fairy.
Princess, you call every princess Champagne.
I'm champagne.
She is
that
champagne.
I am. That was coined in South Africa.
That was
Champagne.
a bit of my work.
That
I
was,
will
you
claim that.
did, you
I
coined
will definitely
champagne.
claim that.
I don't have
I usually get Winston.
What was it?
Winston.
Well, Jay, basically.
Yeah, Jay. There's worse ones. But
No, I
I'm
don't
not
think-
going there because it will give you way too much about my what I get up to. So I'd rather not.
That's okay. That's fantastic.